let me even cancel this video, so I can't even cancel this one and start another one. So that's weird. Maybe that means we're doing better with service now. I'm going to try to put the phone back in the tripod. Let's see how this goes. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Oh, it's always something, isn't it? Okay, I think it's working now. I can see myself on the computer. So, I think we're better. I think we're better. See, a little patience goes a long way. You know, sometimes you just have to stick with something. Okay, so yes, we haven't seen each other since the holidays. Whether you celebrate any of the holidays that are in December or not, or if you enjoy the holidays or you struggle emotionally, physically, or financially during the holidays, I just want you all to know that it's okay however December rolls around for you, and I'm happy that you're here. And whatever you're feeling, I just want you all to know that you're not alone. You're here with friendly people, you're here with people that care, and yeah, happy holidays if you celebrate, and maybe you're excited about the new year coming next week. Maybe you're afraid to jinx it by saying anything good about it. I know I've heard both ways lately. Yeah, we'll see. 2022 was whatever, you know, crazy year for me, for sure, for crazy year for a lot of people. We've had some crazy years back to back, it seems, as well. So yeah, let's see what happens. Anyway, I just want you to know, whether you enjoyed the holidays or not, whether you're still enjoying the holidays or still not, it's okay, and you're going to be okay, and you're here with people that care. That's all I wanted to say about that. Anyway, I guess we could try to start the show again. Good morning and welcome back to the Kristin Omdahl Show. This is episode 1130, and we are here live in chilly Southwest Florida. It's been freezing here for the last several days. We've had lows in the 30s, highs in the 50s, along with no sun. It's been, I know we're big babies down here. Don't forget, you're going to say, oh, that's not that cold. It is when you're not used to it. It's been horribly cold for us down here. In fact, let's see. It's been very cold for us. And due to all the gas leak issues that I had earlier this year, I'm too scared to turn the propane tank back on here. So we haven't had heat at all. And I wasn't so much worried for myself as I was for Bjorn. So Bjorn is Bjorn's spending the holidays at Grandma's house because she has heat. So yeah. And I've been over there too, but it's warming back up. I'm coming back home, but I don't know if it's warm enough for Bjorn to come back home yet, because it gets really, 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 really cold in here. Anyway, the weather's supposed to be back to normal by this weekend, so we're going to survive. Yeah, our lows went down to 33, and our high was only 51 the other day, and it wasn't sunny, so nothing warmed up at all. Anyway, looks like a lot of people are here today. I don't even know if you heard my original greeting. It's the last Tuesday for the fourth quarter for the Alicia shawl, for Shawls for Sharing, which means it's the last week to enter the giveaway to win 2 balls of this gorgeous yarn. We've had 2 sponsors this quarter. Would like to thank both of them for all of their support. I Like Knitting Magazine is one of our sponsors, and they're still running a fantastic deal where you can join their membership for the magazine or subscribe for only $5 and get access to all the patterns and all of the past issues. Also, we have Ancient Art Fibers as our second sponsor, and they're the ones that sponsored this gorgeous yarn. You can enter to win 2 hanks of the yarn at the giveaway on the pattern page and the Shawls for Sharing page, and you can also enter to win 3 prizes there. But on top of that, we also have a deal with a coupon code where you can get a special discount on the kit if you want to purchase it at Ancient Art Fibers website as well. So there's a coupon code for getting a discount. You can enter to win 3 prizes. The grand prize is 2 hanks of the yarn. The second prize is an ebook of your choice on my website, and the third prize is a pattern of your choice on my website. So all good stuff, and all good stuff. This is the last week, although the shawl pattern will always be available, but next quarter starts, let's see, what is going to be the next Tuesday? It'll be January 3rd, and that's when I'll be releasing the next shawl for the first quarter of 2023 for Shawls for Sharing, and it will be a crochet shawl this time, and I will talk to you more about that next week. Let's see. Does anybody have any questions about any of that? And then like I've done all quarter, we've talked about all the different ways to wear this shawl. Look at how beautiful it looks as a cowl this morning, right? This is the first day I can actually keep it on during the show without getting hot. Anyway, we've talked about how to dissect the pattern to use the chart for different knitting techniques, including lace and texture. We've talked about how to do the pattern, how to convert that lace, how to convert that chart with the X's and O's into different types of crochet, including filet crochet and also textured stitches. And since we have the whiteboard here, I thought it might be fun to see that X and O filet crochet with a white background. See how great that pops? Isn't that great? So we've done a whole bunch of different things. I've also shown you how to skip the chart section in the shawl in case you wanted to make it much, much easier to make. Today, what I wanted to mention is that you have more options still with a pattern like this, and this actually applies to just about any top-down increasing shawl that's triangular shaped or a version of a triangular shape, and that is that you can do more than the 2 repeats, and you could make it bigger and make it a half hexagon. So that's what I brought out the whiteboard to talk about today. But if anybody has any questions about any of those other components of the shawl or the pattern or the chart before I get started, I would be happy to answer that. And we also have multiple options when doing this too. And I'm going to draw the actual shawl pattern to explain its construction and then show you some of the other options that we could do with this pattern. And then maybe we'll even look up the pattern and do a little of the beginning math in case anybody's interested in this. Because I'll have to see what the stitch count was for the first part of the pattern. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Okay, so it was a cast on of 24 stitches. Okay, so it's cast on 24. I'll look at the questions in a second. So cast on 24, and it is a selvage of 2, a section of 1, and then it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and then 18 for the X's and O's, and then 1 for the next triangle section, and then 2 for the selvage. So 18, 19, 20. Okay. All right. Okay, so let me get back to the what was I gonna say? I got a text that got me distracted. I'm sorry. Okay, I was gonna see if there are any questions. That's what it is. Let's see. Arlene got 2 of my books for Christmas. That's wonderful. Yay! Okay, all right, so with the cast on of 24 stitches, it breaks down into, this is the shape. So we have that gusset in the middle, Okay, then we have 2 triangles, one on each side. Okay, and so this first, and so it starts with the shortest row at the top, and then each time you do another row, I can't see with the glare, each time you do another row, your stitch count gets bigger because it's a top-down increasing, right? So I think a lot of you already understand the construction style of that. So for that first row of 24 stitches up there, it's 2 selvage stitches, 1 stitch for the first triangle, 18 stitches for the gusset, 1 stitch for the next triangle, and 2 stitches for the second selvage edge. So let's say we wanted, I'm having a heck of a time seeing this with the glare. Maybe I'll put it on this side instead. But then I'm right-handed. Oh boy, we'll figure this out, I suppose. Okay, so that's doing it as a triangle with 2 repeats, right? With the gusset. Let's say you wanted to make this a half hexagon with 3 repeats. Okay, so it would go like that, right? And we're going to have the X's and O's gusset on either side here. But what I was going to talk to you about as well is that you may want to, you could even skip that and just do those stitches in garter stitch or whatever too. But let's figure out how we convert that cast on of 24 stitches for 2 repeats to do it for 3 repeats. So the selvage stitches are going to be the same. It'll be 2 selvage stitches on either side, right? But now we need 3, instead of 2 triangle stitches, or instead of 2 triangle sections, we have 3 triangle sections. Each one of those had a 1. Okay, so we're going to, so it'll be 2, 1, 18 for the gusset, so 2 for the selvage, 1 for the triangle, 18 for the gusset, 1 for the next triangle, 18 for the next gusset, 1 for the third triangle, and 2 for the last selvage stitch. Can you see that? I'm having a heck of a time writing this right-handed with the board on the right side. Okay, so it'll be 2 plus 1 plus 18 plus 1 plus 18 plus 1 plus 2. So it's 18 and 18 is 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. So this would be a cast on of 43 stitches. Can you see that? Does that make sense? Can you understand it? And then I'll go over how you would read the pattern then for that as well. And that's where the asterisks in the pattern are going to be extremely helpful as well. Well, not the asterisks per se, but where the yarn overs. Hello from Israel. Mani Shma. Hakol Beseder? I know this can get a little complicated for some people, but I want to make sure that, does anybody understand this? Is this helpful? Is it too much information? Would you be able to make the shawl now that you know what the additional cast on would be to do a half hexagon? Does that sound interesting? The rest of the shawl would, let's see, Hakol Tov. She wrote back in Hebrew, everything is good. I can still read it too. I think that's crazy. It's amazing how much I still remember, considering I don't practice at all. I don't remember that much though. If I practiced, I could remember a lot more. Anyway, glad I still remember any of it. Honestly, with any language, if you don't practice it, you don't remember as much as you'd like. I just want to see if I can help anybody figure this out, and if there's any other questions from what I've shared so far. Haven't seen any comments at all regarding this, so I don't know if that means it's not interesting Okay, let's see if we have any questions or comments now. Where'd my mouse go? Okay. Yeah, I did. I had a phone call come in. A phone call came in, and I had to text the person to stop calling me. That's all. I am back now. Yeah, my phone rang, and my phone, the stream gets weird when my phone rings. Uh, and instead of answering the call and messing up our live stream again, I decided to text the person and tell them to just stop calling for right now. So I think I'm back. Okay, Joe says this makes sense. Great. J Hook loves the half hexagon. Me too. I love a half hexagon. And also, the pattern is written in a way that you could repeat from the way it's written, and the edging will apply to the to this version as well. So if you wanted to do a triangle 2 repeats or a half hexagon 3 repeats, it'll work for either of those. The edging is worked out to work the same for both as well. Does that make sense? Quiet here today. I think there's a lot, maybe other people are having trouble with the comments too. Who knows? I'm probably not the only one having tech issues with YouTube, but normally I see more comments when I do a tutorial, at least especially questions. Well, I'm glad it makes sense. I'm glad it's helping somebody at least. And also don't forget, you can also do a top-down increasing project in any weight yarn. You're just going to end up doing more or less repeats of the pattern. Yes, J Hook, you could do 4 repeats and then wear it like a capelet. In fact, because the gusset is 18 inches wide, that works out really, 18 stitches wide. It actually works out really well for a neck opening. So you could, oh, that's a great question. How would you figure out the extra yard needed? I will answer that in a second too. Okay, so to do 4 repeats, you would, let's see, let's figure this out. It'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's a horrible shape, but you can see you could make this into a 4 repeat cape or capelet depending on how long you made it. So then we would have 2 stitches on either side here. We'd have 1, 1, 1, 1, and we'd have 18, 18, and 18. So we'd have 2, 1, 18, 1, 18, 1, 18, 1, and 2. So 18 times 3 is 30, 40, 54. 54 plus 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We would have, that would be a cast on of 62 stitches. And because you have those 18 stitches in each of the gussets, it would give you a really nice neckband if you wanted to do that. And then somebody else asked a wonderful question, and that was, how would you figure out the additional yardage? And I've got this one. This actually has a really simple answer. Let's go with the original yardage is 540 yards, okay? It's 540 yards to do this size, and that's figuring it out with a 2 repeat. A triangle would be 2 repeats of the pattern. Okay, so let's divide that number in half. Okay, so 540 divided by 2 would be 27, 270. So let's say it's 270 yards per repeat. Well, that makes it really easy then. If it's 540 for 2 repeats for a triangle, we can divide that in half to figure out what it is per triangle or per repeat, which is 270. So 270 times 1, 2, 3, these are rough numbers, right? And we'll talk about that in a second too. So 270 times 3 would be 0, 21, 6, 7, would be 810 yards for this one. And then 270 times 4 would be 0, 28, 8, 1,080 yards for the 4 repeats. Do you see how that works out pretty evenly? This is one of those, math doesn't work out this evenly that often. especially not when like when figuring out the size, the yardage differences in different size garments and things. But because this is a fixed geometry shape, and these geometric shapes have the same size repeat, it's just how many times you repeat it, this ends up making nice and easy math. So a triangle would be 2 repeats, half hexagon 3 repeats, and a 4-side capelet. I wouldn't actually call this a square because it's open and it ends up being, it's 4 repeats though. So if you divide the triangle, you can do this from any angle. Let's say the original pattern is a half hexagon pattern. You could take the yardage of this pattern, divide it by 3 to figure out what each repeat yardage is, and apply that to whether you want to figure it out for a triangle or a 4-sided project. Great question, and I think that that answer is very helpful. Now, having said that, when you are purchasing yarn, I always, 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 always recommend buy more yarn than you think you need. You never know why you might not be able to get more later. You might not be able to afford it later. You might not be able to get it. It might be sold out. It might be a different dye lot. There's all sorts of reasons why you should buy a little more and not a little less. You're already creative. You're going to find a use for it. There's always a use for extra yarn, whether it's putting it together for a stash project, donating it to somebody that can't afford to buy yarn in the first place, doing color work. There's all sorts of ways, and we're going to talk a ton about organizing and staying on top of your projects, your yarn, and your tools in January and later on. Yes, it could get discontinued, absolutely. The price of shipping could go up. The price of the yarn itself could go up, and it could be outside your budget. You never know what's going to happen in the future with anything, let alone with buying yarn. So and I have really great charts on my website where you can save them, and it gives you great yarn estimates by weight of yarn and also by type of project, which is a good starting place to figure out how much yarn to buy. But if it's the difference between rounding up and rounding down, always round up. Always round up. Because the downside of having a little too much far outweighs the downside of running out of yarn. That's my opinion anyway. And I think that there's just so many different ways to use the extra yarn anyway, if you end up having too much. Anyway, does anybody have any questions about that? Wow, we really dissected this pattern this quarter. We've talked about how to do this with knitting, crochet, with multiple crochet techniques, with multiple knitting techniques. We've talked about making it into a hat, making it into a shawl, making it into a half hexagon shawl, and also making it into a capelet. And how to bead, how to use that chart for beading, for lace, for texture, in both knitting and crochet as well. I think that's pretty remarkable. That's pretty exciting, and it was fun. I enjoyed this. Did you enjoy it? And next quarter, we're going to be doing a different technique than we did in the previous crochet quarter. We're going to be doing something different, and we're going to dissect that pattern as well and talk about all sorts of wonderful ways to repurpose it, redo it, doing it in color, I got all kinds of stuff to tell you about with that one too. It's going to be super fun. So, does anybody have any other questions right now? I don't see any other questions, so I will not be going live until I'm doing the Patreon live tomorrow. Patreon live tomorrow is rescheduled till 10 a.m., so I will be doing the live behind the scenes for Patreon tomorrow, and that will be my last live stream for 2022. I've got a very busy schedule this week and won't be going live anymore this week. If I can record some videos, I will upload some tutorials, but I have a very tight schedule this week, so not sure what's going to happen with that, but I will not be doing the show anymore until next week, or next year, I guess, 2023. Oh, I've got a package too. Oh, it's going to be a busy morning here. I can tell already. Anyway, if you decide you have any questions about what we talked about today, please always feel welcome to come back and leave your questions in the comments here. I do get notified of them and will respond if I can, whether it's to answer your questions or chat about whatever. Yes, organizing tips are going to be so fun next year. I have so many exciting things planned for 2023. Very excited about that. And for anybody that didn't hear me at the beginning of the show, I do want to remind you, it's okay however you are handling the holidays, good, bad, or indifferent. You are not alone, and we're all here and we care. Nobody is left alone. We're here and we care. That's all I can't, I say it every Christmas, you know that. I say it every holiday season. I know they're not always easy for people. Anyway, and if you had a great holiday, that's even better for you, and we're happy for you as well. But Happy New Year, everybody, and we'll see you in 2023, and we're going to do so many fun things. And again, if you have questions before then, always come back to the video and leave your comments here. I'm more than happy to answer your questions if I can, or save your content for another episode for more teaching, because you know how much I love to teach. Thank you to our sponsors, Ancient Arts Fibers and I Like Knitting Magazine. It's been such a pleasure to have 2 sponsors this quarter. Don't forget to use that coupon code if you want to get the kit to make this beautiful shawl. Don't forget to apply or enter to win the giveaway of yarn, ebooks, and patterns. All of that's going on through the end of the week, month, year, whatever you want to call these last few days here. I will give Bjorn a big kiss for you. Yes, I will. Oh, baby Bjorn. Anyway, thank you all so much. I hope you enjoyed chatting with me and everyone else here today. I hope you enjoyed the little tutorial, and let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful rest of the year. Be safe, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye. Unless you're on Patreon, then I'll see you tomorrow too. Bye.